the most important point for people to understand is that Bitcoin volatility is a feature. It's not a bug.
Top story of the day. This is huge news. Morgan Stanley's 15,000 plus wealth advisors across the US are now selling Bitcoin ETFs to all Morgan Stanley clients. Morgan Stanley has millions of clients nationwide. Morgan Stanley has 1.5 trillion assets under management. Their advisors can now reach out and solicit said clients, ask them, offer them Bitcoin in their portfolio. This 1.5 trillion assets under management, much of this is liquid, meaning that once the client is pitched and if the client is interested in Bitcoin, it just takes a few clicks of the button to move this liquid capital into Bitcoin. The ETFs Morgan Stanley is currently offering are BlackRock and Fidelity. You need to understand how truly significant this is. Here, experts Andrew Parrish and Fred Krueger, two Wall Street TradFi experts, help us understand why Morgan Stanley opening up the floodgates to Bitcoin in this way is such a huge deal. First, let's understand what things were like before this change.
It's a material change in the optionality of buying these products on Morgan Stanley's platform. So some context. These have been available for several months, but they've been siloed in the absolute tippy tops of the ultra high net worth version, PWM, private wealth management.
What is that kind of asset? Are we talking 100 million plus?
Yeah, no. You got to have 25 million bucks to be in that space. 2 to 5% of the total client base of Morgan Stanley is in that area. It's not a big number.
Now let's understand what happens now that this has happened.
So when you open it up to the totality of the platform, bottom line is it's going to be available to everybody. More importantly, it's going to be available on a solicited manner, so advisors can talk to clients about the performance of these products and to consider adding them to their portfolio. Whereas previously, not only were the products siloed, but those ultra high net worth customers had to come to their advisor and say, I want this in my portfolio. So those restrictions are gone, those obstacles are gone, and the availability of these two spot Bitcoin ETFs, BlackRock and Fidelity, are now going to be available to, $2+ trillion of wealth management. You're probably talking about a couple $100 billion in assets had access to it before. And now we're talking about 2 trillion that have access to it.
And finally, what does this mean for the future? What comes next? I love this answer.
Well, the reason why it's important is because we're going to go from it being approved in this manner on Morgan Stanley, then Wells Fargo will follow, then UBS will follow, then regional firms like Stifel Nicolaus and Robert W. Baird will follow. LPL will follow, Hightower will follow, Rockefeller will follow. These are all organizations that have hundreds of billions, if not trillions themselves. The Wells Fargo and the UBS, they've got trillions of dollars of assets under management. So it's the equivalent to opening up $10 trillion of again, liquid net worth. This is not 10 trillion in commercial real estate, right? This is 10 trillion in money that can be moved at the click of a mouse from one stock or one sweep account into a Bitcoin ETF. So this is very, very meaningful over the next 3 to 6 months because all those platforms are going to be opened up.
In other news, BlackRock now tripling down on their plan for Ethereum? BlackRock plans Ethereum ETF options, officially filing with the SEC. Larry Fink is a huge Ethereum bull.
I see value in having an Ethereum ETF. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today.
He's been talking about it forever.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement.
Today, the news is this. In a notable development, BlackRock, one of the world's largest asset managers and ETF issuers, has collaborated with Nasdaq Stock Market in a move to introduce options for its Ethereum ETF recently approved by U.S. regulators. This filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, outlines BlackRock's proposal to amend Options 4, Section 3 to allow for options trading on the iShares Ethereum ETF trust. Quote, the exchange believes that offering options on the trust for trading on the exchange will promote competition by providing investors with an additional relatively low-cost means to hedge their portfolios and meet their investment needs in connection with spot Ether prices and Ether-related products and positions. And it's obvious why BlackRock and Wall Street at large wants to get more involved with not just Bitcoin, but Ethereum and crypto. So with Ethereum specifically, Ethereum through the eyes of TradFi, this is how Wall Street sees it. Ethereum is the undisputed number 2 cryptocurrency. Ethereum is more of a reflexive asset than Bitcoin, but also with decent liquidity. Ethereum successfully secures the biggest network. Ethereum is battle tested for 10 years. Ethereum has a flawless execution history for big upgrades like the merge. Ethereum is deflationary tokenomics with built-in APY. And by the way, despite volatility in the market, recently staked Ethereum holders have remained firm, and staking continues to be at an all-time high of 33 million Ethereums, bullish for the medium to long-term price of Ethereum. And now getting into even lower cap altcoins, this news is huge for both of these cryptos. Grayscale launches 2 new crypto investment products, the Grayscale Bittensor Trust and the Grayscale Sui Trust. So both of these trusts invest in the native token of each protocol. The Grayscale Bittensor Trust invests in Bittensor's native Tau token. The Grayscale Sui Trust solely focuses on Sui protocol's Sui token. Grayscale's head of product and research says this, quote, we are excited to add Bittensor and Sui to our product suite and believe Bittensor is at the center of the growth of decentralized AI, while Sui is redefining the smart contract blockchain. With the launch of Grayscale's Bittensor Trust and Grayscale's Sui Trust, we continue to provide investors with the familiar products that enable access to tokens at the cutting edge of crypto ecosystem's continued evolution. If you're interested in learning more about Sui, make sure you check out this video by us. In other news, Donald Trump Jr. just tweeted about crypto, saying we're about to shake up the crypto world with something huge, and he's referencing DeFi, decentralized finance. Wonder what this will be. Bitcoin addresses with a balance of over 0.1 Bitcoin is nearing an all-time high. Strong hands are buying. Michael Saylor bought more.
First, I want to ask you, in the last couple of days, you did see for a moment there Bitcoin fall below that $50,000 level. I do understand that MicroStrategy acquired an additional 169 Bitcoin for just over $11 million in July. But when you see that dip below 50,000, do you dive right in, and to what degree?
You know, we're always buying Bitcoin quarter by quarter by quarter. It's a long-term strategy. But the most important point for people to understand is that Bitcoin volatility is a feature. It's not a bug. The volatility creates tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times, everywhere, to everyone in the world in the short term. But over the long term, that volatility is driving superior asset performance and durability. So it's volatile because it's functional. The other markets are all closed, and they're crippled by the physics and the politics of the asset. We look at Bitcoin as cyber Manhattan. So there's never a bad time to buy up scarce, desirable real estate in the greatest city in North America. There's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. So we will just generally acquire it, whenever we have cash, whenever we can raise money in the capital markets, whenever we see the opportunity. I think timing the market is almost impossible for the mere mortal. It's time in the market that matters.
Subscribe to our channel for your edge in crypto. So much is happening in the world of cryptocurrency. Tune in to our channel every day to stay updated. Turn notifications on so you can be the first to comment. My name is Aaron.